You know, got some time while I'm driving here today. Figured I would do a live version of the general idea. I've been trying to think a while now about the things I wanted to talk about coming into a new year, and just the mass amount of division that is out there among the American people. And I just want to cover a few basic things. So I'm going to talk mostly at a high level here. But I hope my folks who are a little more intellectual will actually truly listen to this and do some very hard critical thinking. Let's talk a little bit about the Trump thing. So I have been on record, I've never been a Trump fan. He was not my first pick for president by far. However, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders were definitely my last picks for president. If you seriously are out there right now and still think Hillary Clinton was a better choice for president, will you please check yourself? Because the amount of evidence that has came out, that is known about that woman, she is crooked as hell. The entire Clinton Foundation was crooked. So, okay, all you typical Dems are out there right now just getting all flubbergasted or whatever already. But let's just go this way. If you're not guilty of anything, why are you smashing servers? If you're not guilty of anything, why are you deleting emails? If you're not guilty of anything, why are you sending your husband to meet the Attorney General on a tarmac at a very interesting amount of time, considering it was a week before you testified? If you're not guilty of anything, why is the President of the United States in your corner talking to the FBI about making sure you're acquitted, and also to not record you when you testify and when you're interviewed by the FBI agent, which they interview and they always record? But no, they didn't record Hillary Clinton. Tell me how any of that can be taken as not you're corrupt as hell and people are covering for you. Let me put it in a different perspective. They have been doing this Russia collusion bullshit for over a year now, and nothing has came out of it because there isn't anything. For one, the Russians did not influence. Let's just get to the bottom. Regardless of anything, the Russians didn't impact shit. They couldn't impact shit. We do not have a centralized voting system, people. Good God. I feel like I'm dealing with idiots. If anything influenced this election that has been proven with facts, facts are the hundreds of thousands of votes that were cast by dead people who voted multiple times, and actually in certain states illegals. And that's a fact. Sorry, go look it up. Hundreds of thousands have now been uncovered. And guess what? They all voted one particular way, and it wasn't to the right. So, nonetheless, there was no damn Russia collusion going on to influence the fucking election. And if you think so, you're an idiot. So, with that out of the way, did Trump try to do it? No, he didn't try. In over a year and 5 months almost of investigation, they have not turned up anything. Anything. They have indicted 2 people for process crimes, neither of which had anything to do with Trump or his election. And Trump had already gotten rid of both the people a long time ago. Excuse me. But yet, here's my issue. Here's my issue with friends, people of different politics, people I don't consider friends with different politics. The left always argues emotionally. They argue many times with personal attacks. They argue many times with a complete void of facts. And the critical thinking goes out the window. Because what has been uncovered is factual evidence that many members of Mueller's investigative team hold a deep-seated bias against Trump. There's that. That's a fact. What has also been uncovered is that multiple members of Mueller's team, combined with Comey, had all already put information out there that they knew the Russian collusion story was a hoax. There are documents that show this, that the whole thing was a witch hunt. And if you don't know about this, do some research. There are multiple texts, there are multiple emails that have been uncovered that show this. So they went into this investigation knowing there was nothing there, but they thought it would be a way to get the president out and to distract. And those are facts. So you don't like my delivery, you don't like what I'm saying, well, you don't like the facts, because those are the facts. So all that's been out there. You got McCabe, who just was removed from office. Okay, wasn't fired, but he knew. There's some really funny timing with that. This memo is fixing to be released that apparently is going to illustrate so much of this collusion and corruption and biasness on the Democrats and Obama, which I am still on record as saying is going to go down eventually once the truth is all totally out as the most corrupt president and administration that has ever ran this country. The man felt he was above the law. The man felt he was a king. And because he had a complicit media and complicit, social with the entertainment industry and such, he felt he could get away with anything. That's just the truth. But whatever. I mean, the stuff that is coming out about this guy is unreal. He stomped on the Constitution. Just stomped on it. Yet, I don't hear anybody up in arms about that. I want to put one thing out there. Trump's a racist. Okay? Show me one factual piece of evidence that makes you believe that. One. Show me. Doesn't exist. What? Because he called Haiti a shithole? Haiti is a shithole. And I'm not sure he said it. If he did say it, I don't care. Because it is a shithole. So's Honduras. It's a shithole. So are a lot of African nations. They're shitholes. That is not racist. That is talking about an economic, social issue in those countries. It has nothing to do with fucking race. It has to do with the tight economies that are going on in those countries, the people who are governing those countries. It has nothing to do with fucking race. South Chicago is a shithole because 30 freaking people get shot every weekend there. The police are afraid to go in certain neighborhoods because of the shithole situation. So all you people that had all your high indignation, sitting on your high horse, so upset, Trump called it a shithole. Give me a fucking break. Good God. Clinton has said far worse or equal. Obama said some of the same shit. All the presidents say it, and you say it in your normal life. So get your high and mighty ass off your fucking cloud and come down here to the earth. Okay? Fucking unreal. Since we're talking about what Trump says versus what everyday people or other presidents said, here's one of the things I find interesting. President Obama made a speech who, in that speech, basically said all the exact same stuff that Trump has said in regards to immigration and border security. Yet, Trump says it, and all you Dems get out there and want to start calling him a racist, a Nazi, a xenophobe, or whatever, all this bullshit. But Obama said the same thing and y'all didn't say nothing. And by the way, those are facts. Again, go look up the fucking videos. Tired. I'm really am getting tired of having some debates with people when they just completely are void of the facts and refuse to look at everything that's out there. But whatever. Obama said all of it. He talked about the exact same stuff. Oh, he didn't ask for a wall. Nobody asked for tighter security and that we had to lock down our borders. He talked about how bad immigration was because of what it caused crime-wise, what it caused from a social burdens on our economy, that it cost Americans jobs, that it brought down wages. He said all that. Trump says the same thing. You call him a fucking racist. It's just stupid. It's just fucking stupid. So, another thing. Let's talk about the economy. And I've seen this. I've not seen too many people try to go this route because they know they're going to get blown out of the water, especially if they do it where I can see it. Because I will blow them out of the water with facts and freaking, you know, true critical thinking logic. But everyone's talking, oh, the economy, well, it's Obama's. Dude, no, it's not. The economy is impacted by numerous things. Consumer confidence and business confidence indexes are in real time. They're based on real time, and they're also a little more forward looking, especially the business confidence index. Because that is based on business, just like me. If I'm interviewed and polled in that, I am looking forward in my confidence rating, not in the past and not even so much today. Consumer index is more based on the real time, as in right now. A little bit forward looking, but more than right now. Both those indexes are at freaking 25-year type highs. Both of them. Riddle me that, Batman. And there's a reason. The tax reform bill that went through is amazing for this economy. We're going to have more expansion of this economy and more job creation than this country has seen since Ronald Reagan. We are going to expand. We're going to go create more income to the government based on the expanded economy, while at the same time saving people money in their taxes, because it's their money, not the fucking government's money. But yet, I love this thing that Den's been talking about. Oh, these $1,000 bonuses all these companies have been doing because of the tax bill. That means nothing. Freaking serious right now? Serious. You liberals really want to go there. Let me tell you what, I'm old enough that I remember these stupid ass Democrat fucking budgets that were put out there and tax plans that would result when they would talk about a $100 tax credit, a $25 tax credit, and act like that's the best fucking thing since sliced bread. Yet those same people have the fucking gall to say $1,000 to a working family means nothing. How the fuck are we supposed to take you people serious? Good God, the hypocrisy. The fucking hypocrisy. It makes me want to throw up. Then we talk about just liberals in general. Liberals in general are so void of reality that it's laughable if it wasn't so important to this country. It's just like they go to these campuses and they go do these interviews and they were asking these stupid ass students who are these high expensive fucking $50,000 a year colleges what they thought about Trump's State of the Union address, and all of them started talking about how racist it was, how awful it was, how mean-spirited it was. The motherfucker hasn't happened yet. Jesus. And yet, you're the more educated. You're the ones we're supposed to be listening to. Look, motherfucker, I got a master's too. Difference with me, I can actually do fucking math. And I understand how economics works. It's just like you dumbasses out there talking about the minimum wage. Nobody can live on the minimum wage. You're not supposed to live on the minimum wage, you dumb fuck. It's a minimum wage for entry-level jobs. In other words, the jobs you get when you're still a fucking teenager living with your parents, not 30 and living with your parents, you lazy fucks. But when you're a teenager living with your parents. That's what minimum wage jobs are. Or when you have no fucking skill sets at all. And if you got no skill sets and you got to work for minimum wage, you better make friends and 4 of you share a fucking apartment. In the history of fucking the world, artificially raising a minimum wage never, N-E-V-E-R, never results in increasing the standard of living. Period. It doesn't happen. It doesn't fucking happen. When you are, and that goes the same thing for a lot of stuff. A lot of tax stuff, a lot of tariffs, a lot of anything, subsidies, anything that artificially adds to the cost of a good or service will eventually be applied into the cost of that good or service to the consumer or the consuming entity. Now, what I love is when you're talking to the people who don't have critical thinking skills, they want to take it as a one-to-one correlation. Oh, a minimum wage, it's $7.15. A Big Mac's only, it's $5, but if I go over here, minimum wage is $10. A Big Mac's only $6. Whatever. That's. Let me try to paint the picture for you and connect the little fucking dots. There are multiple ways that this influences the cost and why it results in no higher standard of living. So while some costs, such as a standardized mandatory minimum wage, may not go directly dollar for dollar passed on into the good or service, hence why there are some studies out there that say it doesn't result in inflation. True. Those are going to be the cases, though, where fewer jobs exist. So you don't increase the fucking cost because sometimes you can't. You just reduce your cost on the other side and you get rid of jobs. You automate. Look at what's going on in the fast food industry right now. You automate, you get robotics. You reduce your demand for labor to get around that minimum wage issue or that cost, that additional cost that it is put on your company. Just basic free market economics. The market will dictate wages. If you can do a job and 1,000 other people can do the same job, that's going to set the wage. If only 100 other people can do that same job, that wage is going to be a lot higher. Now, if you are in the lower sector of the economy from a wage earner standpoint, and all of a sudden you flood this fucking country full of illegal aliens and now basically take away, you know, any fear on their part and make it okay for them to have jobs legally, even as illegal immigrants, which is what this DACA shit and all this stuff wants to do. If you do that, now you've just flooded the market with hundreds of thousands and millions of people in your same skill set, and you have just drastically reduced. Now, okay, it's a mandatory standard minimum wage, so the wage ain't gonna go down, but there's gonna be a lot fewer fucking jobs available for you because you just increased the supply. Supply demand, people. There's only so much demand, and you're gonna overgorge the supply of that labor, taking away jobs from American citizens. So now we're on immigration. Let's talk about that. All you people want to talk about how bad Trump is, that he wants to keep the illegals out. You know, so we just talked about how Obama has said the same fucking thing. Why is it racist or xenophobic or any other kind of whatever to want to protect the sovereignty of your nation? Nobody's against immigration. Legal immigration. You go through the proper channels that are already on the books and are law to come in the country. We have millions of people who do that every year. This is a direct slap in the face to simply legalize all these illegals when all these others have came in and done the hard work to become a citizen of this country. I have people who work for me right now who are going for their citizenship test. They have put in the work. They have put in the time. They have put in the money. And how you can truly look at that and say they mean nothing, but the ones who broke the law are more important. Because that's what you're saying. If you're going to let this person get away with just being here illegally and fine, and now you're going to treat them the same as this person who's here legally and went through the green card process, maybe is on a work visa, and you're going to treat these the same. Tell me how that's not slapping these people in the face. Tell me. You know, and everybody, and liberals love to play on the emotions. That's what they do. They're just children. Well, I love the meme, whatever you call that crap, that's out there. You know, it's like, you sneak your kids into Disney World. Let's see if Disney lets them stay, or if you have to actually pay for it, or you get kicked out. Which the fuck do you think it's going to be? You're either going to have to pay for them, or you're going to get kicked out. It's not heartless. It's abiding by the rules. It's abiding by the law. It's not heartless. It's enforcing the fucking law, is all it is. The child didn't commit a crime. No. And we're not putting him in jail. But we're going to send him and his law-breaking fucking parents back. I mean, people are amazing. And then on the flip side of that coin is all the cost. It is easier for an illegal alien or a DACA recipient, for example, to get subsidized help via welfare programs, Medicare. There's actually a separate income generation program for these people. It's easier for them to get all that, and it's more money than a veteran of our military. Tell me how that's right. I've always said it's the hardest thing in the world to be a conservative. And it is, because your stance on things as a conservative definitely can easily be twisted and made to look like, oh, you're just mean and all this. And it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with sustainability, for one thing. You have to look at things from a perspective of sustainability. And how much burden is being placed on an infrastructure. How much burden is being placed on so much money. You know, you go to other countries. Let's just take Mexico. Take your ass. Why don't you sneak into Mexico and see and get caught and see how that works for you? Go look that shit up. So enough about that immigration stuff. You know, it's just it just boggles my mind. All this stuff that's been coming out, and this memo is fixing to be released, that's going to directly draw the lines from Obama all the way down to the FBI director, Comey at the time, multiple Democrats in the House and the Senate, that basically all had to fix in early on to make sure Hillary Clinton was not going to be indicted, that had to fix in to try to sabotage Trump's campaign and then his presidency. All that's in that memo. But all that information's been coming out already. Whereas, again, as we started this, a 1.5 year investigation on Trump's resulted in nothing. Yet all this other information has came out and is documented. Yet it's crickets out there. Crickets. Sometimes I don't even want to say I'm a conservative or I'm a anything. I just want to say I'm an American. But they are definitely different ideologies. You know, I believe you should be able to keep what you earn. I believe as a country, yeah, there's a certain amount of that has to be taken for the broader good, to create our roads, to create our military, to create our infrastructure, to take care of the invalid, the elderly, the disabled. I agree with all that. You'll be hard-pressed to find a conservative that doesn't. But when you go on the liberal side, they bastardize that thought process. They don't want to just take care of the invalid or the elderly. They take care of the people who won't take care of themselves. They take care of the people who get on welfare and milk it. They take care of the people who are too fucking lazy to get a fucking job. They help foster the idea that it's okay to live in your parents' house till you're 30. They're the ones who foster the idea that, oh yeah, you're right, the government should take care of that debt that you incurred to go to the fucking $50,000 school that resulted in a $30,000 job. That's the government's fault. Or you're not at fault for doing that. No, it's fucking not. It's your fucking fault, you dumb shit. You did that. Therefore, you owe that. Nobody's written off a fucking dime I've ever borrowed. So why the fuck should they write yours off? And this whole justification, education should be free. No, it fucking shouldn't. Education's just like anything else. You should have to work for it. God almighty, man, what kind of fucking families did y'all grow up in? I grew up in a shithole family. And I still heard the old wise tales and the adages about, something given freely is never appreciated as the things that are earned. If you give somebody something, that don't mean as much as if it does when they earn it. Same goes with education. You can't force somebody to be fucking educated. You can't force somebody to do it. If you give it to them, they're just going to go do it. They may not get shit out of it. That's bullshit. And you people that think that's a good thing, you need to get your head screwed on straight. You really do. But it's not. I find it so interesting that the Dems, the liberals, the leftists, all make conservatives out to be so bad, so much hate, that we're racist, that we're bigoted, that we're this, that we're that. When it's you guys, it's the leftists, it's the fucking liberals, the Democrats. Because everything about your ideology is about division. You got to keep the people divided. You're the ones who use race all the time. You're the ones who use sex all the time. A conservative says people earn their own way. Conservatism is what MLK said. We judge people by their character, not by the color of their skin. I judge people by their work ethic, by their honesty, by their integrity. I don't give a fuck if they're purple. Just amazing. Yet you guys put up with all this shit on the left. Even those of you who are just standard Democrats, who aren't extreme or whatever, you don't stand up against it though. Stand up against that radical shit going on that is defining your party. So I'm going to start to conclude with some stuff I started with. All you guys want to do is call the president a racist, call him a bigot, call him a sexist. But you can't back it all up. Oh, well, there was that tape. He said, grab them by the... Yeah, okay. Let me remind you, y'all really want to go there? All right, let's go there. You're saying people who support a woman who, when President Clinton, and these are facts, these aren't allegations, these aren't like most people say about Trump, well, I think he is, of course he is. These are fucking facts. Bill Clinton got a blowjob in the Oval Office by a fucking intern. And I've actually heard Democrats tell me, it's like, oh, they probably ain't the first time. I said, no, guarantee JFK got one too. The point is, he got it by a fucking intern. If that he was in the fucking military and he's basically the general and he had a fucking private give him a Hummer, he would have been fucking kicked out. It's not even so much about the impropriety or the adultery or the lying that he did after the fact. She worked for him. That was an abuse of power. He was impeached and he should have been kicked out because of that piece, the abuse of power. Not that he got a Hummer. But I don't think you guys remember, your Democrats, your selective memory, but when all that was going down, and for years prior, there had been multitudes of victims coming forward that Bill Clinton had assaulted, had basically harassed, whatever. You know, Broderick and multiple others, Flowers. Hillary Clinton led the initiative to discredit those women. Hillary Clinton led the initiative to downplay those women, to cast doubt on all their stories. Victims. Yet she wants to stand up today and to say she's the woman's candidate, or that Trump, you know, so bad about women and she represents women. No, you fucking don't, you hypocritical two-faced bitch. No. You're a fucking corrupt criminal, two-faced, power-hungry. You do not deserve to be president. You deserve to be in jail, is where you deserve. But you people want to support her. And you people think that would have been a better president. And you people are the ones wanting to talk about Trump and all his, you know, sexist stuff or whatever, when you guys supported that. So tell me how I'm supposed to take you serious when you supported all that. Take the Roy Moore stuff. All the liberals were all up in arms over that, over these 40-year-old accusations. 40. That resulted in him losing that election. But all y'all were all up in arms about these, you know, I have to take all those serious, I have to whatever. Where the fuck were you when all those women talking about Clinton? There weren't 40-year-old accusations. These accusations had been going on since he was governor. And they had all been in real time. But yet, all those are discounted. You know why? Because your fucking bias makes you hypocrites. When it works for your side, you talk about it. When it doesn't, you don't. Just like right now, all the stuff coming out that shows Obama completely stomped on the Constitution, crickets about any kind of issue there. All this evidence coming up that FBI has been lying over and over and over, crickets.